Hello, and how are we doing? This is Gorgeous George, and I want to say something. I have been off of YouTube for a little bit, and it's time for me to make a reappearance. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this in a video. I'm going to say it one time and one time only. There's a lot of things that have happened in this past year that have been very demonstrative, has been very demeaning. These individuals, these fucking, and I'm not, it does do no good to talk about these bitches because that's what they want. But I'm going to say this real fast so it can be stated. These people have stole my moniker through a problem with GoDaddy that had, or they stole my domain through a problem that I had with GoDaddy, and an individual was sitting on top of it pretending to be me. Okay, it's done. Can't cry over spilt milk. It's happened. GorgeousGeorgeShow.org is going to be the answer and solution to that remedy. It's going to be the remedy and the solution to that problem. And it's being worked on as we speak. That website will be up. I haven't done any Gorgeous George related stuff for about almost a year. Well, no, I take it back. It was less than a year. Whatever the case might be, it doesn't matter. There's no, I can do the show, maybe not do the show. It doesn't freaking matter whether I do it or don't do it. But if I want to do it, it's solely upon my decision. If I don't want to do it, it's solely upon my decision. I'm going to continue doing, though, the show. It might not be as regular as I want it to be. It might not be as regular and as often as it used to be, but it's going to be upon my delegation. It's going to be upon my, upon the warning, upon my time and when I want to do it. And nobody tells me that. So I was going to indicate that. I don't give up. I don't give in, and I'm not going to give in. What I want to talk about in general terms, and I'm not going to say this and talk about that. I want to talk about the internet needing to be policed. I have said this so many times till I'm blue in the face. The internet as we know it needs to be policed. We can sit here and say, oh, we can say this because this is America. We have freedom of speech and fair use. And we have fair use to say what we want. That might be so, but you don't have fair use and freedom of speech to slander or libelous someone. There's a lot of things that I feel about our president of the United States, Trump. Okay? I don't know the man. I don't like the president. I didn't vote for the president, Trump, and I don't care for him. But in saying all of that, you can have an opinion based upon not liking someone, but not knowing the situation. You might not like an individual. You might not care for them. Okay? That's why I have recently decided to kind of refrain from our attacks on the president, even though I don't care for the president, even though it's obvious what the president's doing is shady and unjust. But it kind of correlates to what goes on with me. Of people attacking me. They don't even freaking know me. People attacking my character because people don't even freaking know who I am and what I'm about and keep running with the same bullshit. Keep running with the same bullshit of what they think they know when they don't know shit about me. Because they see somebody on television or they see someone on the internet, television on the internet that portrays a boastful, cocky way about themselves, and then that attracts the naysayers. Just because you specify something, just because you are having fun at doing something or specify a character, then they take that out of the norm and misconstrue everything. Misconstrue the whole thing about that person because of their general unresolvedness about their own feelings about themselves. People act and attack other people because they're miserable with themselves. They judge other people from afar because they're miserable with themselves. People that judge other people are usually miserable with themselves. About throwing rocks in glass houses. Throwing rocks in glass houses and whatnot. This is exactly what it is. And when people tell me that, George, when you do these things and when you do your characters and when you do your show, you attract a certain kind of element. And that might be so. Pervy, swervy, womanizer, whatever you think that I am, rapist, pervy, swervy, pervert, whatever you think I am, into your own agenda because of what I portray or what I do, being called a racist, being called a rapist, being called a racist, being called a rapist because of one element that is installed in your head about me. And that is the fact that you don't like me because you don't like what I do. And again, when someone doesn't like someone, or when someone doesn't want to watch what that person does and doesn't like their content, they don't spend hours and hours and hours obsessing over them. They don't talk to them. They don't have nothing to do with them. And that's the crazy thing about it, is that these people that attack me and Kevin and attack the foundation of what we do, me and Kevin and my crew, are obsessed with me. And all they can do, it's not like anything good they can say. Not anything good they can say. It's always demonstrative and hateful things that are being said about me because they don't like what I portray or what I say. Okay? It runs it over all over. It's hypocritical, and it runs it over and over and over again. And what you see and what you hear is like a bathroom wall. It never gets any better. It's added on. And George, don't feed them because they're going to keep on doing what they do because you're giving them attention. Yeah, you feed them, but whether you don't feed them, or whether you do feed them, or whether you don't say anything, or you do say anything, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop them because it is an obsession. It is a constant obsession of people wanting to spread hate towards someone. If you don't like that person, you don't care for them, then you don't have anything to do with them. You speak your mind and then you move on. And it's not like in an occult where these people like me. It's not where in an occult where people get down and they want to bow down to me because they like me and care about what I say. That obsession. It's not that kind of obsession. It's an obsession of hate. An obsession of pure, unadulterated hate toward me because they are insecure with themselves, miserable with themselves, and have nothing else better to do than spread hate because of their feelings about themselves. That is usually where it comes from. Feelings about themselves and wanting to attack someone who is confident and full of and self-assured. Someone who's confident and self-assured about what they are and who they are, then people that are less confident about themselves want to attack that person to make themselves feel better. That's how that usually plays out. And that's what these imbeciles on the internet have been doing with me for the longest time. These internets continue doing what they do. Well, let me tell you something. 2026 is a brand new year. And I call the shots. I do it when I want to do. And like I've said, I don't go out of my way attacking someone. If I don't care for someone, I don't have nothing to do with them. I don't go out of my way attacking and bastardizing or butchering that person because of hate. I just don't have anything to do with them. And then they say, oh, well, they're obsessed with you. They're obsessed with what you're going to say and all that. It's a hidden agenda that they do because they want to know what you're doing and all that. It's not a hidden agenda. It's more of a continuous roll of shit that keeps rolling down because being reactive. And some can argue the point saying that the fact that I'm doing a video right now pertaining to it is feeding them. Well, maybe it is feeding them. Maybe in general that the naysayers or the paper hat crowd, if you will, that are sitting here watching me are being fed and entertained by what I say in a sick sort of way to try to be poked at. So what they're doing is, what I'm saying is feeding them so they can turn around and put words in my mouth through AI and poke me in a certain kind of way. All right? And take something that is said out of context because of their total hatred, and they want to keep the reactions there. They want me to react to everything and keep it going. Well, there's an argument, there's a decision that can be said about both things. I'm not reacting. I'm not giving, I'm not feeding these people. I'm just doing what I normally do, and I say what I normally feel. The Gorgeous George Show, the real Gorgeous George Show, is going to continue. GorgeousGeorgeShow.org is going to be the channel based where the show is going to be on. Kevin Watt and other people are going to be a part of what we do. If those two people and myself are a part of it, it will continue. People have come on my show in the past like a revolving door. Those people you don't see on my show are no longer involved in my show. Those people that used to be on my show that are not on my show anymore, other than the two I just mentioned, are not going to be back on the show because there's no use for them. And we've cut, and it's no use to have them on because they serve no purpose. Kevin and I have always been doing the show. I've known Kevin for almost 30 years. I've been doing the show for 31 years. That never changes. 31 years of doing the show. And Kevin and I might have our differences. Kevin and I might have our differences and our opinions that might be differ. But one thing that we do have in common is we know what's there. And we know what we could have to contend with. And it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. As Winston Churchill once said, we shall never surrender on our finest hour. We shall never give in to people upon our finest hour. And yet I'm not giving in to any of this shit. I'm keeping it flowing and I'm keeping it going. And there's going to be more. And there's going to be more people. And I know there are a lot of people that actually enjoy my show that might not necessarily come out and say much to say, hey, Gorgeous George or George or whatever. There are a lot of people that enjoy my entertainment. There are a lot of people that laugh. And there are a lot of women that enjoy my show. A lot of women that enjoy my show. Even though there are people that might not say it or don't believe it or whatever, because they know who I am. They know that that's just a character. A lot of that character is me. But for the most part, a lot of that character is me, but it's not me 24/7. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I have entered that. Jesus Christ has come into my heart, reborn, reborn, whatever you want to call it, has entered my life. So Jesus Christ is behind me. God is behind me. And if Trinity, God, the Son of God, and the Holy Ghost are behind you, then nobody's against you. I have reopened my life to be spiritual. I have reopened my life to Christianity, and that takes utmost importance now in my life. That's part of the reason maybe why I haven't been on as much as I normally have been on. But I still know that I can do this and still be a Christian. I can still entertain in a certain way and still be a Christian for the simple reason because I know who I am and I know what I'm about and God knows who I am and God knows what I'm about. So let's get that freaking clear. You can do what you do and be who you are and know who you are without someone trying to judge you. You can be who you are and be of the character that you are without someone judging you. And people that judge other people are the people that are insecure, not only with themselves, but they hate themselves. Let me say it again. People that judge other people and people that judge others are insecure with themselves and they actually hate themselves. So let's not take that out of the equation. All right? Fairness to all. Not everybody is going to agree on certain things, but not everybody is going to agree upon liking things. Not going to agree on certain things, and you're not going to like certain things, but you still take it a part of coexisting. Because my skin color is different from your skin color does not mean that we can't be friends. Because my faith and nationality is different from your nationality and faith does not mean we can't be friends. Hate is a crime. Hating people because of differences is a crime. Hating someone because they have a different political view than you do. Hating someone because they believe in different things than you do or don't like you for whatever reason is a crime. Well, it's not a crime, but it's just it's judging other people. And it says in the Bible, and I'm in Matthew, and I forget, and I'm just getting acquainted, but in so many words, why judge your brother if you have the same problem? If there's a speck in your eye and a speck in his eye, why is he then judging you because he has the same speck in his eye? When you do the same thing that you accuse other people of doing, that's judgmental. That's being judgmental. That's judging other people. When that person might have a speck, but you have a speck, yet you're overemphasizing the fact that that person has a speck in the eye when you have a speck in the eye yourself. That's hypocritical, and that's judging other people when you do the same thing as that other person does. When you judge others and think that you can know that person's heart and true soul and true being just because it's something that you think, what you think, it was totally 100% wrong, 100% wrong because of what you think. Because you think that doesn't mean it's true. Because you feel that doesn't mean it's true. Not everybody is an open book. Things that are open about a certain people are open about certain people. But you're not going to know because some people don't open up. Some people don't show their whole selves. There's different entities or not entities. There's different sides to people. Okay? Everybody has good within them. Everybody has bad within them. If you look at somebody and see the bad, because you want to see the bad. If there's good in someone and you're not seeing the good, well, maybe you want to see the good in them. But there's a good side to everyone because we all have a soul. There's a soul. Some people don't show that. Some people show just a badass attitude. Someone shows a badass attitude. There's good within people. And there's good within people, and that can be shown. A person's personality can be very complex. Because I have a different religion than you doesn't make me a bad person. Because I have a different skin color than you doesn't make me a bad person. Because I have a different philosophy than you do politically doesn't make me a bad person. Because I have a different philosophy in how to handle certain situations and how to feel something doesn't make me a bad person. It only makes me a person that has a different opinion than you. Okay? Not the be and end all. And that's what people do. People take it upon themselves to judge other people and judge how they do things. All right? When you're young, your younger days, you do foolish things. When you're young, you do foolish things and you rebel. When I was young, when I was in my 20s, I did foolish things and I did certain things I'm not proud of. Certain things I'm not proud of. I rebelled because I was young and I thought I had the world by the tail and I could do no wrong. When you get older, you see things and you reflect upon things and you realize your whole story is laid upon you. You see your whole story laid upon you and you see it for what it is. And it's not always, you kind of regret things. You see things, we're human. We make all kinds of mistakes and we see things for what they are. You're human and therefore it shows. It comes out and you see it for what it is. There is not a precursor to say, well, you did this and did that, you must be a son of a bitch, or you did this and did that, you're a son of a bitch and a bad person. No. We do things, but every action has a reaction. Every action that's done has a reaction. Okay? What I did in my younger day might have been different. What I did in my younger day might have been different from what I would do now. I'm more mature. I've had experiences, and I have wised up. As I get older, as you're older, you wise up. And your reaction and what you would do when you were younger might be quite different now in your older years. You're given one life and one life only. You try to look at things, this fascination upon having different lives and maybe being reborn again, having different lives and being reborn again. That fascinates me. That fascinates me. But knowing what I only know is we're here and you're given this one life to do what you can. And it's now time to act upon what you got to do. Only you can do what you can do. Only you can be who you are and make the decision of where you want to go in your life. You came into this world all by yourself, and you're going to leave all by yourself. You came into this world all by yourself, and then you're going to check out of this world all by yourself. It's just the way it is. Being desperate, being all by yourself, yes, it hurts. Feeling unloved, feeling unwanted, it hurts. I've had a lot of relationships before that have turned sour. I've had a lot of relationships turn sour because of being misunderstood. That was their misunderstanding, not mine. They think that they were, they didn't know me, and after I showed who I was, that's their loss, not mine. Misunderstanding, a lot of misunderstandings, but then that's their hard luck. If I show and I'm dedicated to someone, I'm dedicated to them. If I put my full foot out there and I put my full self out there, I'm showing who I am. I'm showing dedication and I'm showing my worth and I'm showing that I care about that person. And if I don't care about them, there's actually, you know what? There's a love list and a hate list. And the love list is there. And there's a hate list. And sometimes, you can get mad and angry as hell with that person you care about. But then you'll get over it because you still care about that person. You can love and hate them. You can love them and get angry as hell. All right? But you still care about them, and that's still going to be a forgiveness. Now, can you love someone and hate them? And then can be completely hate? Yes, you can. You can love someone and then finally hate them for whatever, because it comes to a point that a human being can only take so much. A human being can only take so much. But you try to keep it in perspective and know who you want. You keep it in perspective and keep it in stride, and you know who you want in your life. You know who you want in your world and in your life, and you do your best to keep it maintained. That's what we all do. When we get up in the morning, we go to work, we try to keep everything in consistent rhythm. We try to keep everything in consistent rhythm. And we maintain a structure because that's what we have to do. I'm funny, I'm arrogant, I might be a little arrogant, and I might be funny, but guess what? One thing I know is I love myself foremost, and I will always love myself. That's what keeps me going. If I didn't love myself, okay, I probably wouldn't still be here, because I've had a lot of heartache and I've had a lot of stuff come at me. But I'm a strong person that always lands on my feet no matter what circumstances that they are. So you can sit there and judge me and think whatever you want about me. But one thing you can't do is control me, because I know where I'm going. Yes, I wish I was living the lifestyles of Robin Leach and the rich and the famous. I can't do a British accent, but whatever. Living the lifestyles of the rich and famous. I've been there before. I can be there again. Doesn't change, though, the core center person who I am. And that core center person who I am is a very good-hearted person that would take his shirt off for someone that shows empathy upon someone else's hurt and strife. Showing empathy upon someone else's hurt and strife, that is me. And I will keep that moniker Gorgeous George as long as I want. I will keep that namesake of Gorgeous George as long as I want to. The Gorgeous George moniker will always be me. And there's other ways of skinning a cat. And there's other ways of getting your point across. I will skin that cat. I will prevail in my endeavors and trials and tribulations. And I will continue being who I am. And that is half the win right there. That's half the battle. So as long as I'm breathing, as long as I'm standing, you haters and naysayers can kiss my royal white ass. If you don't like me, kiss my royal white ass, because I'm not asking you to like me. Just move along with your bullshit, because I will still be continuing. As long as I'm breathing and living, I will still continue my thoughts and my feelings and showcasing who I am to my fans out there. That will never change, and I will be who I am, and the true people who know me and love me will know the difference. The people who care about me and know about me and not prejudge me will know the difference, because they know who I am.